What's going on YouTube? It's Pelfrey, and this is the Red Sea Reefer 250. Now you may have some glare coming in from this side of the room, but I want to do a quick update. But first, we're going to feed some of this concoction right here, which is some LRS Reef Frenzy, which I'm in love with, and some Benefood. The LRS I picked up locally, and then the Reef I picked up from Bulk Reef Supply because Reef Keeper Phil talked about how much he loved it. The tank is doing pretty good. The phosphates tested like 96, or the phosphorus did, which translates to still like 0.23, I believe. So the phosphates are still through the roof. So I actually put 1 tablespoon or teaspoon of Rolafos into the sump to hopefully bring them down. Last week they were like 105, and a week later they were at 96. So, I mean, as far as the LPS corals are concerned, they're doing well. Any SPS I had left in the tank, well, it's not doing so great. So, a couple things here. Let me walk to this side. I got this as a sample pack from Budman's Corals a while back. And then Murphy's Aquatics posted a picture where he bought a 4-pound bag of it. Well, guess what, folks? I got a 1-pound bag. 1 pound of the Reef Nutrition TDO Chroma Boost medium size pellet. This is going to be perfect to go into my auto feeder. So basically this, it's pretty cheap too, like $25, something like this for a pound, and a pound that's going to last me forever, and my fish love this stuff. But I'm going to put this into the Neptune AFS auto feeder. This is the stuff that Reef Keeper turned me on to, the Benepets Reef Food, which, you know, is pretty similar. I don't know if we can see that there without tilting it, but it's a powder substance, so I just put it in with the frozen food. Kind of like Reefroids. And then the last goodie I have over here is this good guy right here, which is the Apogee 510, again from Murphy's Aquatics. So I'm gonna for sure get the par measured. I did actually drop the lights down just a hair, so they were at like 10 inches. And I believe by default on the RMS mount, they're like 9 inches. So that's where I brought the lights to. I have a feeling that the pedestal rocks aren't quite tall enough, because when I checked the par previously, I was at like 250 at this peak right here. So I can't check the par right now because my lights are actually on a ramp down mode. But you know, I'm gonna check the par, and if I gotta build the pedestal rocks up, then I will. Now my second option is I have a couple things that I want to give to Murphy's Aquatics, and plus I'm either going to pay to ship the par meter back to him, or I'm just gonna drive a little bit north and go meet him. And I think he's got some live rock that he's just been sitting on for a while. I may grab some of that, but you know, my alkalinity has stayed steady at like 8.2, 8.3. My alkalinity is never really, I mean, it has had some jumps here and there, but not really significant. The nitrates are still like 4, and if I test them with the high range test kit, they still come back at like 4. I did swap out the Kalk wasser, so I did have 1 gallon made with a half a teaspoon of Kalk wasser, and I was talking to Sabella fella, and so I made a gallon of Kalk wasser with 2 tablespoons, which is, you know, fully saturated Kalk wasser. And why do I need Kalk wasser in this tank? Because I don't have corals consuming it. Well, I have coralline algae in the tank, and especially since I started dosing, number one, I upped the dosage from like 45 milliliters to 200 milliliters a day, but I have coralline algae in the tank, and it grows pretty rapidly. The MP10 wet sides are definitely covered in purple. The rocks are covered in purple. I have coralline on the sides of the glass here and on the sides of the glass there. Now I do get from time to time these Astrea starfish, which apparently really love coralline algae. So hang on one second, let's throw some more of this LRS Reef Frenzy in here. A pretty good amount. The other thing is I do like 8 to 9 gallons a week as far as a water change is concerned. I actually have some new salt coming. So I've been using Red Sea Blue Bucket, which pretty much or exactly matches my water parameters. But there's a lot of folks that I talk to and they love the Fritz Blue Box. So I went ahead and I bought some Fritz Blue Box and it should be here pretty soon. And as soon as I'm done with the Red Sea Blue Bucket, I'm going to switch over to the Fritz. And I looked at a couple different brands. I know that, you know, the Brightwell salts talked about pretty heavily with Worldwide Corals. The auto top off's going off right now, but with Worldwide Corals and Bulk Reef Supply. But I really don't want to mix it for 24 hours. I like to heat my water up and then mix it and do my water change. So that's not really the direction that I went in. But yeah, I mean, the tank is doing good. All of the fish are doing great. I definitely want to get my par mapped out, and if I need to build the rock work up, that's the plan. I thought the pedestals were going to work out for me, but ultimately I really want to keep SPS corals. I mean, that's what I want to keep. I watch SPS videos and look at pictures on Reef to Reef and Facebook and whatever all the time, and that's what I want to keep. So that's my goal. And you know, in my opinion, if you don't have a goal, then what are you doing? I mean, obviously you're setting up a tank with a goal, an end goal. What do you want the tank to look like? And for me, it's SPS corals, and I understand I've struggled with them, but you know what? The only way to get past that struggle is to figure out what's working for me and just go with it. So let me take you off the tripod. Let's take a look at the brand new Crystal Reef Aquatics Red Sea Reefer 250 Triton Sump. You can probably see my glare and the sump here, but that's fine. I'm going to use the direct sunlight as my light here. I understand the cable management over in this area here is poor. At this point, it is what it is. I love the sump. I loved the other sump that I had. No doubt about that. This sump is, it's amazing. If you didn't watch my last video, basically there was an inch added to this baffle, so it was moved from like right here over, and that gave me a full 8 inches here. So the skimmer section is 8.5 this way and 8 inches this way. The return chamber in the back is 5.5 inches this way, follow my fingers, 8 inches this way. So excuse me, the issue that I was running into was my Neptune Core 20 pump really wasn't fitting into the sump the way that I would like it to. And in all honesty, a lot of DC pumps are quite large, and especially skimmers. I got lucky with the Niles 120 fitting in pretty seamlessly. So you guys know that I've worked with Crystal Reef on this, and I'm very happy to have worked with them. Julian and Crystal Reef Aquatics has been absolutely great through this process. I did lose an inch of space on this baffle here as far as the refugium section goes. And you know, in the grand scheme of things, an inch ends up being quite a bit, but I would rather have more room for equipment versus the refugium. So I understand that this is a Triton sump, and you know, Triton recommends that you have, you know, 10% of your water volume or your tank volume as far as refugium is concerned. But the fitting hardware in there, you know, and with a lot of people going to DC pumps, whether it be Jabo pumps or Ecotech pumps, Varios pumps, whatever, they need to fit in the chamber. So again, I can't thank Crystal Reef enough for sending me the version 2, which is on their website, and I'll go ahead and plug them again. And you know, if you need a custom aquarium, a custom sump, if you want one of their current sumps modified, all you have to do is email them. You can go to their website, crystalreefaquatics.com, They have all of their products on there. They have their email address on there, all their contact information. You can check them out on Instagram at Crystal Reef. So there's many ways to check them out, but I'm very, very satisfied with the new Sump. I do have my Kalk washer over here, and dosing 200 milliliters, I've gone through a quarter of the container so far. So what I like to do, I have some masking tape here. I made this on 414 with 2 tablespoons of Kalk washer. Obviously, I'm dosing it with 1 pump of the Neptune dose. You know, we've probably heard it before, the Neptune dose is kind of loud, but it integrates with my Apex. It's dead accurate. I don't have any complaints with it. But yeah, everything's working great. The Niles 120 is working great. And I do have an exciting, very new exciting feature coming from a vendor that I won't disclose just yet. Now, this is not an advertised or a sponsored a purchase, but I'm very excited because Triton sumps do not come with any mechanical filtration. Basically, you drain the tank into the refugium. If you have any chaeto or microalgae in there, that kind of filters or catches whatever particles are in the water. Since I may not ever run a refugium because I'm a low nutrient tank anyway, I have a custom piece that I had made that's gonna go in this area right here. It is gonna catch the water here. It is gonna filter the water here, but I'm very excited to get that and show it off to you guys. So yeah, if you have any questions regarding this whole engine bay, be sure to let me know. Let's take one more look at the display tank. Call it a day. Real quick before we follow along in the tank update, I have all new filters. I've got the sediment, carbon, and DI filters in here. And I got a new pressure gauge because my pressure gauge is broken. They put tape on here. This is from Spectracure, so this is the kit that I bought for my particular RODI unit. I also picked up, because it's like 2 years old, excuse me, I went ahead and picked up a brand new membrane with the date of 4/10/19. So right now it's putting out 0 TDS water. I'll probably run another 80 gallons through it before I replace any of the filters. So we've got the carbon block here, the 0.5 carbon block. We have the sediment filter, so the 0.5 sediment filter, which, you know, in all honesty, these two need to be changed every 6 months, and I neglected that, which is why I went ahead and bought a membrane. Quite honestly, it's like buying a whole new RODI unit whenever you buy all of these, especially from Spectracure, but that's okay. Then here we have the DI silica buster, because I have high silicates anyway. And then, of course, we've seen this already, but it's the membrane because it's 2 years old. I'm gonna go ahead and replace it, be done with it, make sure that I have the best water that I can have. Kind of changed angles a little bit just because of the sun glare coming in from the west. Let's dump the rest of this frozen food in the tank. Got a little bit on the glass here I'm gonna clean up. But I'm thrilled that I found the LRS Reef Frenzy locally, and it's like 25 bucks for the sheet. What I do with it is I break it up into pieces that I can manage, and I love it. You know, it's still like 22 bucks or something online, plus you gotta pay for shipping. Something else I've been dosing in the tank from time to time is the Brightwell Coral Amino. So I just dose like 2 or 3 times a week in the morning, dose this into the tank, and I'm overall satisfied with the direction I'm heading. Neptune dose is running, if you can't hear it. So there's some slow drips going into the sump. So that about wraps it up for this video. Be sure to check me out on Instagram at Pelfrey's Reef. Can you see me here? Yeah, I'm kind of in the shadows here, kind of leaning over. Check me out on Instagram at Pelfrey's Reef. Check out the website at pelfrey.net. Slide on over to Potomac Reef. Subscribe to his channel, Coral Euphoria. Let's get him some more subscribers. He's an amazing guy. Murphy's Aquatics, definitely one of the main contributors as far as how far I've gotten in the hobby. Phil with Reef Keeper. He's got the amazing Red Sea Reefer 525. Like that, folks, this video's over. See my shadow there? I'm waving at you. All right, folks, I appreciate you watching. Catch you on the next one.